Jim Jones, myself. Gold records, platinum records, gold albums, platinum albums. No, me, Jim Jones. No Diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I gotta show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what?
Of my position. Cam is my partner. I'm not his artist. I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey.
My credit for a bunch of I do in this industry. What say Love Hop? They supposed to say, man, the creator and founder, Jim Jones. Hey, I made that name Love of Hip Hop. That's my name. They didn't make that name. I didn't know that. You heard?
Jim Jones always talks like he built an empire from scratch. In every interview, he's either the brains behind love and hip hop, the muscle of Dipset, or the teacher who showed everyone how to move. But the people who actually came up with him tell a different story. They say Jim's been spinning the same tales for nearly 20 years. Jim and Chrissy Lampkin been claiming love and hip hop was all his idea, his vision, his creation.
I never get my credit for a bunch of I do in this industry. What say Love Hop? They supposed to say, man, the creator and founder, Jim Jones. Hey, I made that name Love of Hip Hop. That's my name. They didn't make that name. I didn't know that. You heard?
But when you look at what's really on record, that story doesn't quite match up. And the truth, it hits way different. Turns out Jim wasn't the mastermind he claimed to be. Mona Scott Young's the one officially credited as the creator and executive producer of Love and Hip Hop. Her name's on every contract, every credit, not Jim's. He and Chrissy were just cast members, not the architects. And that's not the only story falling apart. Jim's been repping Harlem hard, but when Camron spoke up, he shut that down fast. Cam said Jim's really from the Bronx, only visiting Harlem through his grandma.
You are a guardian angel and designer. What the fuck is you talking about, man? You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. I did not grow up with you.
So those tales about him growing up side by side with Cam, according to Camron, none of that ever happened. Cam broke it down. Jim wasn't part of the original crew at all. Back when Cam, Mace, Big L, Bloodshed, and Herb McGruff were already heating up the city, Jim was just trying to get close.
You heard our freestyles, and you came up to me one day when I was chilling in front of the house. You said, and this word to my dead mother, yo, man, I heard the freestyles. Y'all killing shit. Yo, you know my grandmother died. If y'all want to come by and just hang out, y'all, all right, Jomo, thanks. It didn't really make sense at the time because we like, yo, man, where's Jomo inviting us to his house for? Even though he cool. But it didn't make sense to be going to Jomo's house.
After his grandma passed, he offered his spot for them to chill, hoping to fit in. But Cam said they never really needed him like that. He said Jim was more of a fan hanging around the edges, not part of the real circle.
You act like on your couch. You was a fan. You begged us. You are a fan. A fan. We didn't grow up with you. I don't see you around none of this. You're not from none of that. You ever see somebody from Harlem try to act like they from Harlem so bad that you got to keep saying, I'm from Harlem? Who's from Harlem know who's from Harlem. You don't have to keep saying you from Harlem.
And here's the kicker. Maze was the one who actually taught Jim how to rap. Jim jumped in after things were already popping. Even when he tried flexing money on Cam later, it only made him look embarrassed. Jim Jones really said he's a better rapper than Nas. Yes, Nas.
What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life. I got 100 on me now. I got like 40, 50 on me.
Yeah, that's strong.
That's right. You can come get this right now. Right now. Anyone you right now. And it ain't a money thing, but this is here. You heard? If you want to get busy, is the money on the line. Any one of y'all from my era.
He claimed he could out-rap anyone from his era and even challenge legends to step in the booth. But fans weren't buying it, especially when you're talking about a man like Nas, a Grammy winner, a hip-hop icon, one of the greatest lyricists ever. When the backlash hit, Jim tried to backpedal, saying he meant he's a marketing genius. Then he bragged about having more Billboard entries than Nas.
Other people was done. You heard them. You want to go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas' Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
But once the receipts dropped, that flex fell flat. Jim's got 9 entries total, while Nas has 27 with multiple number ones. That's not competition, that's a landslide. When people were asked who's the better rapper, Nas or Jim Jones, the answer was instant and brutal. Every single person said Nas, some even laughed at the question.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Nas.
Oh.
Nas or Jim Jones? Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones?
Nas.
Nas or Jim Jones? Is that a serious question?
Yes, it is.
It's not, bro. Jim Jones the clown.
Math Hoffa ran the same poll on his show, and again, Nas swept every vote with ease. Then came the Jay-Z drama. For years, Jim acted like things were cool with Hoff, claiming no beef, but later he slipped up and admitted he actually felt hurt, like Jay left him out of Roc Nation's moves and money plays. He went from calling Jay his brother to saying he felt pushed aside, and fans caught the switch up quick. The more he tried to explain, the messier the story got.
Me, Jim Jones, myself. Gold records, gold albums, platinum albums. No, me, Jim Jones. No Diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I gotta show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. You heard them. You wanna go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
Jim Jones been pushing that Bloods boss image for years, calling himself a top general who ran things like a real street commander. But when the 16 federal case blew up and those 9 Trey wiretaps dropped, things got messy fast. Jim's name was heard right on the tapes talking business, yet when indictments hit everyone else, he walked away untouched. People started asking how the so-called general dodged every charge. Even legal experts and fans wondered what really protected him. Then Whack 100 came in, saying Jim's gang pass wasn't earned, it was bought. According to Whack, Jim didn't get respect in LA from the streets, he paid for it, and that shook up everything he'd been bragging about. Word is, Jim even tried paying Whack 100 for a pass to move safely in Compton. Right after that, he posted videos hanging in Compton parks, acting like he was good everywhere. But people said it looked staged, like a whole performance. Even Face on Love clowned him, saying the closest Jim's been to real Bloods was watching Colors.
He ain't never been on no Blood set. Closest thing he been to a Blood set is Colors. He ain't been on Pyro Street in College. He ain't been to Emerald Hills, Bunny Boys. He ain't been to Lincoln Park. He ain't been to none of them places and put in some work.
Then came his so-called athlete era. Jim flooded Instagram with boxing clips, shadow sparring like a pro, but the internet wasn't having it. Folks roasted his weak punches, stiff footwork, and chicken legs, turning him into a meme overnight. What was meant to be a flex turned into another L, and just when you thought it couldn't get worse, his old beef started resurfacing, especially with the real street dudes like Raw Diggs. Raw Diggs wasn't some wannabe gangster. He was the real deal. His name was tied to drugs, robberies, and multiple bodies. When the feds caught him, they hit him with 3 life sentences plus 105 years. That's how serious his rep was. So when Jim Jones ran into Raw in the studio, it was bound to go bad. Raw had been switching lanes to music, linking with artists and building buzz, but that day, he started talking heavy, gang politics, blood talk, street stories. Right in Jim's session, Jim snapped, telling him to get out of here with that blood talk. Raw couldn't believe it and pressed him right back, but Jim stood on it. Suddenly, the whole room went from chill to chaos. The studio almost turned into a war zone that day. Voices got loud, tension thick. Everyone said you could feel how close it was to getting deadly. Luckily, a few people stepped in before it exploded. Raw stormed out, smashed a glass door, and left furious. But that wasn't the end. Later that night, Jim had a show at So's Rendezvous, and guess who pulled up? Raw Diggs. Deep. The DJ shouted him out, and the whole club froze. Witnesses said Jim's confidence disappeared the second he saw Raw. Man looked shook. He dipped out fast before anything could pop off. Word is, one of Raw's guys was ready to move, but Raw never gave the signal. That's the only reason Jim walked away untouched that night.
Diggs got 3 life sentences. You heard about this?
I actually seen it on, I think it was on your website yesterday, and I was like, and I feel bad.
For someone like Raw Diggs, letting Jim walk was shocking. This was a man known for handling disrespect with violence, not mercy. People say Jim only got that pass because someone finally told him who Raw really was, his charges, his record, his deadly rep. After that, Jim knew better. Then came the Max B fallout, easily Jim's most personal beef ever.
So Max B, now you, my friend, you had a falling out with Jim Jones, right?
Yeah, we had our mutual differences.
They were tight once. Max was his ghostwriter, his studio partner, part of Bird Gang. But when Max caught a murder charge, everything changed. He felt Jim abandon him when loyalty mattered most. The bomb broke, and Max fired back with diss tracks and a mixtape cover showing tombstones. One labeled Here Lies Jimmy Jones. Then came She Touched It in Miami, where Max claimed he slept with Chrissy Lampkin. That diss track set the streets on fire. Taking shots at Jim was one thing, but bringing up Chrissy made it deeply personal. Things got violent fast. Max claimed Jim tried boxing in his car, so he rammed Jim's Bentley and punched him in the face before speeding off. Even in prison, Max said he'd squash the beef if the chance came, but Jim always brushed it off, acting like Max never mattered.
As far as that paperwork goes, we don't do paperwork no more. There's no such thing as paperwork. Max, I never have another project. There's no negotiation. I don't want to be friends. I don't care about no negotiation because I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Then came the twist. Jim finally admitted he did Max dirty, confirming what fans had long suspected. But before that could settle, another feud brewed, this time with 50 Cent. Their tension dated back to 2007 when Dipset was falling apart. 50 saw his chance and invited Jim to perform, not out of love, but to stir drama and expose Dipset's cracks.
Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like in the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. And I just looked and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you gotta watch to see how he responds. And then when you see, he like, oh, you really like that. Give me this, get me Jimmy.
Both of them. Pause though, get off my...
It was never about unity. It was straight chess. Jim clapped back in an interview with Justin LeBoy, calling out both 50 and Cam, saying, both of them paused though. Get off my, yeah, that's for baby girl. But 50 being 50, he flipped it quick. When 16's federal trial hit, 50 pulled court papers showing Jim's name listed as Individual 1, hinting he might have been cooperating. That rumor tore through the internet fast, putting serious cracks in Jim's street image. Being labeled a snitch is deadly for a rapper's rep, and 50 milked it for all it was worth, clowning Jim nonstop.
Just in the Breakfast Club, Jimmy popping all that bullshit. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store talking about, we Gucci boo boo. Like King was going, they was going you up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Moneda, Coca-Cola, Pedro.
It be money in case they wanted to know. Tell them we Gucci. we Gucci, boo-boo.
So when fans suggested a Versus battle, Jim shut it down cold, saying, I don't want nothing to do with that sucker. Then came True Life, a beef that turned real with street consequences. At first, Jim and True Life were cool. True Life, along with JoJo Capone, even looked out for Dipset, providing real protection when things got tense in New York. But over time, they felt disrespected and unpaid for putting in that work. From their side, they risked it all, and Jim didn't show enough love back. That's when it exploded. True Life snatched Jim's Bird Gang chain and flaunted it like a trophy, laughing in interviews and calling Jim fake.
Jimmy Neutron, you try to say this piece don't exist? There's only one who do this. Step the diamond game up, man. You're not balling. It look better on camera. I'm seeing it right there. Look, put the game. It look better on camera. Garbage.
That move had people looking at Jim sideways, because in this culture, the last thing you ever want tied to your name is being labeled an informant, and 50 didn't stop there. He kept clowning Jim every chance.
In the streets, that's more than robbery, and that's humiliation. Jim tried defending himself on Hot 97, but it only made things worse. True Life felt even more disrespected, and the beef turned dark fast. The only thing that cooled it down was True Life getting locked up later. Prison might have pressed pause on that beef, but the stain never faded. To this day, Jim rarely speaks on it. Probably because some L's just don't wash off no matter how much time passes. When you really zoom out, it's wild how many blows Jim's taken over the years, from public fallouts and messy feuds to stories that keep getting exposed. The chaos just never quits. Everywhere he goes, drama follows close behind. The truth is, the industry doesn't see Jim Jones as a legend anymore. They see him as a headline magnet, a man who built an image so strong it ended up crashing back on him. Instead of earning more respect, he's become a running joke in his own story. And if you made it this far, don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment, and hit subscribe. See you in the next one.